optimize the use of the stove, it's important to use it correctly. So I'm going to show you how to build a fire in the stove and then how to operate the stove. So you open the door like this. We have wood storage here. You get 2 logs and you put them lengthways with a space in between them. Then we'll crumple up some paper. And we crumple it up kind of loosely so that the air can get in there, so that the paper can catch fire real quickly and burn nice and hot. Underneath the stove we have some kindling. So we have the little kindling, the medium kindling, and the bigger kindling. So I start with the bigger kindling and I lay it across the logs. And then I'll get a couple more bigger pieces and I'll put them across those ones. And then I start with the medium kindlings and I can go, so we're building like a little log cabin in here. And then on top, we put the smaller kindling. Now this is what's called a top-down burn. So the fire actually will catch the smaller kindling on the top first, and then it will work its way down, and the fire will catch its way down onto the logs. We should be able to just light one match and get that paper going. So this is the air intake. So we want this all the way out when we start. And this is the bypass damper. So we need to pull this out when we start the fire. And we close the door so it's ajar. And then this one is the ash drawer, and if we open it just a little bit, it gets a lot of air right up through there so that the flames can get plenty of air so they can catch that small kindling on fire. So we're going to leave this slightly open so it can get the air from down here. We're going to leave this all the way open, and this is pulled out. And we leave it like that for a little while, and then I'll show you, once we get to the point where we start adjusting these, I'll show you what to do, but we're going to just let that one burn. So now you can see the fire has already caught the bigger logs. I wanted to show you that just in case there's ever a fire, we have a fire extinguisher right back here in this little corner. And so you can see it's hanging on the wall right there, and it's low enough that you don't have to be really tall to be able to reach it. There's also some cleaning stuff in here. There's a vacuum cleaner and a mop and a broom in case you need to clean something up. And the wood stove is ready for the next step. So you can see we have some live glowing embers. So that means it's time to close the ash door. Now the ash door has a spring. So you push in and you turn it that way and it's closed tight. Now I can close the door, and now the door is closed tight and the ash door is closed tight. This one is still pulled out and this one is still pulled out. Now, if you notice, there's a little thingamajig right here. Now this is a thermometer, and this tells me when it's time to push this in. So when this red needle gets up into this area, then I close this, and that makes the stove go into super efficient mode. If you see, the needle now is above the little line, so it's ready to engage the catalytic combustor. So it's gonna burn even cleaner than it's burning now. So the way we do that is we just pick this up and we just let it go in. It's a very small movement. And now the catalytic combustor is adjusted. However, if we look at the fire, it looks like it could use a little help. And so this is the time that I want to tell you, before I open the door, I pull this out. And it's out just a little bit more, and I'm going to open the door, and I open it nice and slow. If I open it too fast, some smoke will come out. And now you can see there's a space in between where we put the paper, and I can put another log in there. So let's find a nice dry log, and we can put it in there. And then here we have some tools. So I can get my tool kit, and I can grab the log and I can push it in there, right? And then maybe I get another one and put it in too across the top. Now we'll close the door, and then we close this again. Now look, it's a very small movement. It doesn't go in very much. It just goes in that much. But we leave this one all the way out for now, and we'll let those logs catch. Now if I want to give it a little boost because I put some new logs in there, I can open the ash drawer for a minute, and you can see what happens when I open that ash drawer. The air comes shooting in from below, and it catches those logs on fire right away. But I don't want to leave this ash drawer open for too long, because if it gets too hot, it's bad for the wood stove. So I'm gonna leave it going just for a minute, and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna close this door down here. Now we're back to the wood stove about 5 minutes later, and we can see that we have some glowing embers on the new logs that we put in. So now it's time to close this door, and then we'll close, well, that one's already closed. So now we're good to go for a while. Now I wouldn't want to reduce this air intake until we have more embers. But once you get to the point where it's a lot of embers, then you can start pushing this in to make the fire last longer. But for now we're gonna leave it out just to let these embers get a little bit bigger on the logs. I once had a chimney business, and I put this chimney in myself. And if you look at the top of it, do you see any smoke coming out of that chimney? Oh my goodness, there's no smoke coming out. Why is that? It's because the stove is so efficient. If you operate it properly, the only time it puts smoke out is when the very beginning of the fire, right? So now we've gotten it to the next step, and already it's burning so clean that there's no smoke coming out of the chimney.